Hello and welcome back. This is the Clay Golem. This is Foundry VTT, and this, of course, is Curse of Strahd. Relatively short video just to bring you up to date with where we are. There is a new release that's 0.3.3. It is now available, so you can whack your little update on your module and it should update automatically. Alternatively, there is a link in the description if you want to download it directly that way. If you haven't had it before, that's probably the best way. So what have we done since the last one? Well, we finished the Stolen Gem previously in the previous update. That's all in there ready to go. For this update, we now have the Fallen Abbey. Now, there's only a couple of scenes for this one. It's quite straightforward from a building point of view, because a lot of it happens outside of these new scenes. So we're getting to a point where we're duplicating scenes, or rather there's areas that the players have previously visited and they will come back to and go via. So rather than just completely reduplicating lots and lots of scenes, you know, the road is the road. You've got those now. You can just jump between them. So there is only a couple here. There is the cottage. Now, the map we've got here, now I am using Aeon Bar's maps. One, because they're really nice. Two, we do have permission to use them, and of course they are free for you guys to download yourselves anyway, so it's okay to include them in the pack. Aeon Bar has told me directly. I've got a message from him saying more than happy for me to use them in this context. So I put this together. Now the one issue is there is you can see there's a trapdoor in the bottom right down here, and there is a cellar. We don't have a map for that. So there is a little bit of activity that happens in the cellar. Don't have a map suitable for that. So, I mean, I looked at it and went, well, how will I handle it? There's not enough going on for me to worry about. So theatre of the mind and actually just describing it is really not a big issue. There's not a big combat or anything like that. So if you're all going, well, where is it? It's not there. Deal with it, all right, like everybody else. So we've got... Sorry. So we've got our main players all in here ready to go, and we have our abbot here as well. And you can see when we've got, for those who are not familiar with it, when we've got characters that will make an appearance and be involved, I tend to keep them on the scene and keep them hidden, so they're available, ready to go for the DM as soon as they need them, rather than faffing around coming into our actors or Act 3 NPCs. Right, where is he? Okay, A for Abbott, he's easy to find, but we're getting quite a lot of NPCs, we're getting quite a lot of monsters, so I do like to try and keep them available for you if they are almost guaranteed to show up. Right, anyway, babbling. So that is the Abbey is all done. It's quite a lot of it's role playing in here, and it's about finding out about some other things to go and do. We have our flesh golem that is sentient for them to deal with. We've got the other bits and bobs going over here, but the most important part is the fact that they are meeting wherever she is. They are meeting Esmeralda, who is going to accompany them on some of their adventures. So there she is, ready for them to meet her and move on with, which is good. Now obviously she's all created as I think I did do as an NPC. So she's got all of her equipment, her magical equipment and everything. She's set up ready to go. Same with all of my NPCs. If they are combat people, they are set up ready to go. So very small one, but Arc K, the Fallen Abbey, is done. I've also done the Den of Wolves. Now this is about going after the werewolves directly, if you weren't aware. Again, when we look at the actual module for the Den of Wolves, they go to the lake, they go back potentially to Van Richten's tower that we've already been to, before we go after the werewolves den. I haven't included Van Richten's tower and stuff again because you've already got that, and you can just pop back, you know, nice and easy under the missing Vistani. If they do go back to the tower, you got the scene. You know, you can make your edits and whatever you need to do. It's ready to go, no drama at all. Not a lot of point in duplicating that just for this purpose. It just takes up space. It doesn't bring any benefits to you, because most likely they're just returning to the wagon here to collect some stuff. They find out that some of the stuff may have been stolen, and then they encounter this young lady, Bianca, who is one of the werewolves, but they encounter her first, and she's stolen some of Esmeralda's bits, which she'll return, and she comes back into play later. Now the whole point is they're going off to find the werewolves and invade their camp to rescue some stuff, including retrieving the holy symbol of Ravenkind, which is really, really important before they go to take on Strahd. And all the way back when they did the tarot reading, they find out about the fact that that's where, they might not interpret it that way, but they find out that that's where that is in the werewolf den. So they camp outside for a while. Now what I did is I have used the werewolf den with the cover map for it. So this is the entrance to the werewolf den down here, the cave entrance, and you'll see in a moment when we look at the next one that we've got that. But I've brought that up here because I thought when they do the campfire part, they can use this scene, so they can camp out somewhere, you know, over here or something like that. And there's just a bit of a role-playing scene while they watch to wait to see the werewolves leave. Now, it does talk in the module. Now, remember, we're talking about the Strahd Reloaded version of this. I did talk about the fact that they've got Esmeralda with them, and she has a particular item. Where is it? This furtive starter. Furtive fire starter, which is like a magical fire starter. It starts a fire, but the fire only has a limited range. Let me go to the other scene and I'll show you that working. So this is the top, if you like, and just bear in mind we've got the cave down there, and without that top on, this is the same scene but without that top on. So you can see this is the entrance down here. Excuse the fact I've dumped one of my player characters on here while I was just testing things like the walls, etc. like that. I can actually get rid of her now. I have got in here, I chucked Irina in, and I gave Irina a copy of this item, so just want to show it to you. She's got this furtive fire starter, and like I say, what it does, actually if I hover over it, it tells you it's a finely crafted set of flint and steel, bears small runes etched along the sides. When it's used to ignite combustible materials, the resulting flame sheds a bright light in a 10-foot radius, sheds no dim light, and produces no smoke. While within the 30 foot of a flame created in this way, the user can speak a command word to instantly extinguish it. So the idea is it creates this 10-foot radius and that's it. So it doesn't bleed out from there. I thought, well, how do I do that? Because we know tying lights to items and things is a little bit awkward. So I did play with this, and it's template based. So if I place the template here and pop this down, we've got a little animation. It's not fire, it's a very small fireball animation. So if you're using automated animations, you might need to add this on yourself because that won't carry over. But it's literally just the I used the fireball and made it very small, but you can see it's given us this area of light, so we can see that works. And I deliberately did it in this dark corner of the cave so you can see that lights up. So that's just going to give us exactly the effect we want. So when they're outside, if they're doing it out here and it's supposed to be night time when they're camping out waiting for the wolves, we can of course make this whole scene dark and make it night time, and eventually they're going to, you know, as the light fades, it's going to eventually become completely dark. But we're going to be able to do that, and that will show up much better. I must remember to put the lights back on. Yeah, it's going to show up much better. And like I say, using automated animations, I've just added. Let me show you what I did in case you want to replicate that. Find that item, furtive starter. So I just copied the description in, and I just made it a trinket. I've given it a little image, so you'll get the image, of course. Is it magical? Yes, it is magical, because that's what it does. I said that it's got a 10-foot target radius. Okay, so that's what gives us our thing, and it's got a template prompt. You saw that working. And I attached to region template. Now, configuring that, what I used was adjust that darkness level. So I said brighten with a modifier of 1. So that should make it back to kind of, regardless of where you are, it's going to make it basically daylight. Now you can override or whatever. I just went for brighten. So that's how I did that. So that's really nice and easy, but that will all be configured as part of the item when you get it anyway. And for the automated animations, what did I do? First of all, it didn't have a global match. You can see it doesn't have one there. I clicked to say customize the item, changed it to templates. You can see this is my thing here. I chose circle because it's a circle, fireball with no debris, and I made it orange. And under the options here, I gave it a scale of 0.25. If I've got a scale of 1, it will fill the whole thing with the giant fireball, which clearly isn't what we want for this purpose. So it actually makes that nice and small, and as you can see in the screen behind here, as you can see here, it makes it small. It takes up like a 5 foot 5 foot, just like a campfire kind of size would. In fact, there's a campfire just there for comparison. So I think that works quite well. It gets us around that. I've got it attached to the template as well. So that will stay until it gets extinguished, and of course, because it's a template, delete the template, the light goes, the fire goes. So that's what I did for that. Nice and easy peasy. Right, I must remember to get rid of Irina. She really shouldn't be in the wolf den. Now when they get to the entrance, there's a dead elk in the entrance, so I've created an image for that, just stuck it on a tile, so you can click that button to show the players what it looks like. And of course, if they come in, they encounter all of these people who are actually werewolves, although they're mostly in human form. If we look at our actors, and I have put them under monsters because they are pretty much, they're there to fight. I have got werewolves and werewolf brawlers in their werewolfy type form ready to go, but a lot of them start off in their human form, not in their hybrid form. There's one over here that starts off in its wolf form. We've got some actual wolves, we've got some werewolf brawlers who are all ready to rock and roll in those forms. But for example, when these two, if they get engaged with combat, these two are going to change. You can just whack out their werewolf form, well, bam, there we go, nice and easy to do that. Lighting is here. These look like torches on the map, but the lighting is actually from fungal growths. So have I missed one? I've missed one. There we go. So you notice those aren't flickering things, whereas up here these are actually torches lighting this area. Now it also talks about this statue being in here, and it describes it, and it describes a shaft of moonlight coming through a crack in the ceiling. So this is what you can see here. This is a shaft of moonlight. So all I did is I created a light, made it sort of a pale blue kind of colour, and I just changed its angle, so it's down to 31, well, happened to be 31 degrees, and I rotated it so it emanates from there and just shines in that general direction. And I just made it dim the whole way because I thought that works much better than trying to do anything else. I don't know, if you want to do it a different way, you can. Got no animation on it or anything like that because it's just supposed to be a shaft of moonlight, so you can kind of see that as players come in, they'll be able to see that moonlight very conveniently shining directly onto this statue here, which is absolutely surrounded with treasure, and also has the symbol of Ravenkind, the holy symbol, on it. And we've got these two characters here who are currently trapped, that may or may not be rescued, etc. But the idea is they do a deal with this individual to get the holy symbol of Ravenkind. In exchange for that, they have to go to Castle Ravenloft. So put the holy symbols just off to one side here. So again, can't be seen by the players. It's outside the walls, but it's right there if you want to just chuck it straight in. The item piles is really useful for that. You can just drag it straight into the character's sheet when they get it. Lovely jubbly. Or even if they just want to see an image, a picture of it, you can easily access that through there. We also have Bianca, so the one they met at the beach. She potentially comes back, but again, so she's just hidden off scene at the moment. If she comes back in, we just got a different image for her as a token. She can come in and interrupt them, etc. So not a huge amount of work for these ones compared to some of the others. These are relatively small little arcs, And even though they go to the tower and everything else, just not necessary to create all new scenes. So those are the 2 new ones in. The next one to do, the Dragon's Manor. So this is where they are, I've got to pronounce it now, Argenvorst. Yeah, argue amongst yourselves whether I've said that correctly. That's where they go off to there, and again, you know, they find a excuse to go to Castle Ravenloft. So they're starting to pick up lots of reasons for going to the castle. Dinner with the Devil, they've been invited, so we will need to put together Castle Ravenloft very soon. So the next one will be the Dragon's Manor, so that place. Then Castle Ravenloft for Dinner with the Devil, Castle Ravenloft also for the Ravenloft heist. The Shining Beacon, is that actually, that's when they come back after they've been to Ravenloft Castle, and I think that comes back to the Abbey that we've just talked about in the Fallen Abbey. They come back to here. So again, we're going to have some repeated scenes. So not an awful lot more to do to finish this act, but Castle Ravenloft is going to be a biggie, and we want to get that right. So that's it. Not a huge video, like I say, bit of an update. There was a couple of other little issues and errors that I have fixed as part of this patch as well, so if you have encountered any of those, yeah, just run the update, re-import those modules. So again, just as a reminder, these are broken down into the different arcs. If, for example, if you found an issue with Lady Watcher's list, it will not fix those problems for you until you click on that and re-import the adventure, and then it will fix all of any little things that are missing. And it's normally a case of an image isn't saved in the wrong place. It's normally those things, but we're pretty good. We're not getting many errors and issues now. Certainly these earlier ones, they should all be working. It's only the later ones where occasionally I make a mess up, but it's very difficult for me to check everything. Right, so there we go. Job done in this one. Onwards and upwards, and hopefully it won't be too long, and we will have this entire Act 3 completed, and then we can move on to the next one. Thank you for watching, do appreciate it. Leave a like, leave a comment. If you're not subscribed, please do so. Remember, hit the bell icon, it will remind you when next videos come out. Hopefully the next video will be a non-Curse of Strahd one. Something a bit useful. We need to get back into looking at some automations in the new 2024 rules version of the game engine, the 4.x, 4.1.3 or whatever it is we're on at the moment. We need to do that fairly soon, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm itching to move over. Thank you for watching. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.